Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a desk full of new drugstore makeup here that we're gonna try out together today. I am so excited about some of these things. I have them on right now, obviously, and some of this stuff really blew me away, so I cannot wait to show you guys. A lot of the products that I picked up are from the brand Milani. I've heard a lot of good things about Milani lately, and I'll give you a spoiler right now. I think Milani might be back after a little bit of a hiatus. So we're gonna try it all on together today. I have a couple other things. Not everything here is from Milani. I have a new product from e.l.f. that I've been meaning to try out for a while. We're gonna do that. I have a new mascara I'm excited about, and then a couple old things, including an old highlighter that might be the oldest highlighter that I even own that we're pulling back out of storage today. We're gonna use it to create this makeup look, which I am very, very happy with. So I hope you guys are excited about it. Before we get to the makeup, I wanna welcome any of my new visitors here. I hope you enjoy my video today, and I hope that you'll consider subscribing. Also, make sure those notifications are turned on so that you can know each time I upload a new video. And with that out of the way, let's get right to the makeup. All right guys, so we're gonna start things off with a face oil that I picked up. I got this from Milani. I think this has been around for quite a while. It's the Milani Rose Prep and Brighten face oil. This looks very curious. If you look at it inside the bottle, it looks a bit more like a liquid than an oil. So I imagine this is pretty liquidy and lightweight, which is how I like my face oils to be. I don't like anything too like viscous and very thick. This stuff had really good reviews, and I just ran out of my squalane, which is the oil that I've been using for the last like year and a half from The Ordinary. So let's give this a try. Let's do 3 drops of this. Just run that right, mostly across the center of my face first, a little bit up here along. I don't really want to go on the center of my forehead, just kind of along the sides. I get a lot of dryness, like in this area right here. I also have some dryness around my nose, so I'm gonna kind of rub it in there as well. I'm sure this is gonna make my skin look very, very red, but that's okay. We've got lots of stuff to cover it up today. Okay, that feels really nice. I'm gonna let that set for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then we're gonna jump into this. I'll just show you guys what it is right now. I am finally getting around to trying the Halo Glow from e.l.f. I am probably the last person to try this out, at least here on YouTube. I'm sure a lot of you have tried it out as well. I don't know why I slept on this one. I was really excited about it. I saw so many people review this when it first came out. I ended up going with shade number 2. I do want to pull out my own Hollywood Falls filter, which I also own in shade number 2, just based on the coloring of these. The e.l.f. one looks a little bit darker. Let's give them a swatch though. Based on that swatch, it does feel, consistency-wise and just looking at it, it does remind me a lot of the Charlotte, although I think this is a little bit darker. Here is the Charlotte one. It is a little bit lighter. Let me just turn my light off for a sec. You guys see that a little bit better? So you can see the Charlotte one in shade number 2 is quite a bit lighter than the e.l.f. one. Kind of wish I would have gone with shade number 1, but that's all right. They look similar to each other though. I am very excited to try this. So I think today I'm gonna wear this underneath my foundation, kind of more as a primer. I know I put the oil on, but that's all right. The foundation we are using today though is one that I already own. So we're not trying a new foundation, so we'll really be able to give this a good test. All right, so I'm just gonna take the applicator. I'm just gonna take it on the back of my hand, kind of like that. This is how I typically apply my Charlotte one as well. And actually, let's just use my fingers today. Really nice consistency. This feels nice and creamy like the Charlotte one does. I am curious for those of you with oilier skin if you've tried this, how it worked for you. So if you have oily skin and you did or didn't like this, let us know down below. So far, that feels great. So this does feel like the Charlotte Tilbury one. It also feels a little bit like the Maybelline one, although I think the Maybelline one is a little bit thinner in consistency than this one or the Charlotte. Now let's jump over to foundation. So I already have a foundation from Milani. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect. This bottle I've owned for quite a while. This is shade number 1, and I did just pick up another of shade number 3. I used to own 2 shades of this foundation. One of them got a little bit old and I tossed it, and now this one's a little bit too light for me. So hopefully a mixture of these 2 will be a good shade match. I do love this foundation though. It's been a long time favorite of mine. It's great coverage. It wears pretty well. It is a thicker consistency, but I never mind that. Like, I don't mind a thicker foundation formula. Actually, I'm gonna go in with this. This is the Persona foundation brush. I am loving these Persona brushes right now, you guys. Although I'll say this, I have already washed them, and this one, the foundation one, I feel like I'm a little bit bright. Let's try this. This one was a little bit difficult to wash. I washed it and I felt like the foundation would not come out of the bristles, which is not that uncommon. Foundation is very difficult to remove from brushes or sponges. This one seemed extra hard to get the foundation out, but I do love the brush. And I'm telling you guys, this brush right here, which we'll probably use when we get to the eyeshadow, the blend and the apply brush If you picked up this brush alone, you would probably be set for so many different eye looks. I mean, these are both fantastic brushes. Like, they give you everything that you would really need for a basic eye look, and they're so incredibly soft. So I've been very happy with these. I'm normally not a fan of double-sided brushes, but I've given these a pass lately and been using them constantly. I even took them out of town with me this last weekend. My husband had his holiday or post-holiday work party in California, so we spent the weekend in California. We ended up going out to Catalina Island for the day on for like a couple of hours on Saturday. Rented some e-bikes and rode around. I'll insert a little clip for you guys right here so you can see kind of what we saw. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. I had never been out there before. We were originally gonna go to either Universal Studios or Disneyland or something for the day, but we've kind of been amusement parked out lately. So we felt like doing something else. Something about being in California, even when it's a little bit colder. I mean, it's definitely warmer than it is here. I think it was like 65 degrees, but felt so nice and just made me want to go on like a beach vacation. All right, skin is looking really good so far. I do want to add a little bit of concealer. We're just gonna take my Conceal and Perfect concealers. I still feel like I'm a little bit bright. It is really bright outside today. Very, very sunny, blue sky, and we got a fresh layer of snow last night, so it's one of those really beautiful Utah days where, like, there are some days in the winter in Utah where I look outside and I think, oh, this is disgusting. Like, there's brown snow everywhere because it's been sitting for a while or it's kind of melted. It's smoggy. But then there are days where there's like crystal blue skies, no smog at all. Everything's covered in a dusting of snow, and it is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I did have a couple of breakouts recently, and I'm not sure if it was just the traveling, what it was that broke me out. I think I did forget to wash my face one night and I had a lot of makeup on, so that is probably where I went wrong. All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit of powder. I'm gonna take this. This is my Pure 4-in-1. I just wanna add a tiny bit of this to my forehead and then also to my eyelids. Oh, actually, I wanna add a little bit of eye primer. I'm still testing out this Hard Candy eye primer, which I do like so far, but I want to keep using it to really get a good feel for it before I give it my final review or stamp of approval. Although this is hard to find now. I tried to link this in my last video where I used this and I could not find it anywhere online. There we go. Now I have a new product that I'm very excited to try. This is the Milani Liquid Contour. I was kind of hoping this would be like a dupe for the Hollywood Contour wand from Charlotte Tilbury, which I do really like that product. This looks very, very small though. I want to compare how much product each of these have. So here's my contour wand. Obviously much more expensive, but this does have 12 milliliters, whereas this one has just 8. So it is a little bit smaller. Still probably a better value, but just be aware, it is quite a bit smaller than the Charlotte one. I'm not sure how this packaging works. The Charlotte Tilbury one has like a twisty thing, you can close it. It doesn't look like this one has that. Let's just give them a side-by-side swatch as well. So here's the Milani. Ooh, that's really nice and light. I kind of like that. I have the Fair Medium from Charlotte. Let's give this one a swatch as well. I'm pretty sure this will be a bit darker. Just a little bit, not too much. So there is the Charlotte Tilbury one. It is a little bit darker. So probably the best way, I'm just going to tap this onto the cheeks and kind of blend as I go. Ooh, that's a pretty color. What do you guys feel about these liquid contour products? I kind of feel like they are a little bit trickier to use than just a powder or a cream. I kind of think there's a bit of a learning curve with them. But once you get them down, they do look really natural. Let's do a little bit on the sides of the nose, under the lip here. Actually a really good contour shade for me. It's not ashy, but it's not overly orange or warm or too dark, which is kind of a hard thing to find. Let's do a little bit along the hairline. All right, there's the finished contour. Very pretty, very natural looking. This is, again, a great shade if you have really fair skin. Blend it out really quickly, really easily. So I want to go back and use my Milani cream blush. This is a very neglected cream blush. For someone that loves cream blushes so much, this one has not gotten nearly enough use from me. I do really like it. This one is in the shade Nude Kiss. Really basic, kind of like warm rose color. So I'm just gonna take a little bit on my Alter Ego number 4 brush. Tap it in there, then tap a little on the back of my hand, and then just go right into the cheeks. Very pretty. I want to go back and try and cover up this little spot. I'm just going to take the tiniest bit of that darker shade of concealer barely put a tiny bit on top. I'm gonna tap it with my finger and then I'm gonna let it sit for a sec. Let it sit there for a minute. While we wait, let's jump over to the brows. I'm gonna brush up my brows. They do have a little bit of my e.l.f. brow wax in them already. I put that in about an hour ago. I'm just gonna brush them up right, and then I have a brow pen that I want to try from Milani. It's this one right here. This is the Weekend Brow from Milani. I got it in the shade Soft Brown, which was the lightest shade that they had. Just looks like a basic kind of brow pen. I've tried a lot of products like this over the years, and I really like them. They're a little bit trickier to use, which is why I don't reach for them daily, but if you have the patience for it, I think they can make your brows look really different. Okay, so let's give it a little swatch on the back of my hand right here. Okay, that looks like a pretty good shade. Nice, that is the tiniest little brush. Can you even see the tip of that brush? I mean, it is like so tiny. It's like a needle. So I think I'm gonna need a mirror for this. Let me just grab this palette just sitting on my desk. This is one of the ones I took to California with me. I took this palette and the Fill-In Bubbly palette from ColourPop. I ended up wearing the Fill-In Bubbly palette to the party. It's like a catered dinner. It's really yummy. I almost said fun, but my husband and I both don't really enjoy the like forced socialized work parties. I don't know, we're both a little bit, I don't know if shy is the right word. We just generally don't like big social setting situations. We kind of just like smaller groups. But the food was really good and the company was nice. His coworkers are very, very nice. It's always awkward. I'm really liking this brush. I might like this one more than, let's see, what other ones have I tried? I've tried one or two from some K-beauty brands. I think from Tony Moly. I've tried the Ardell one. I've tried a Revlon one. That one's a little bit different. I think I like this one the most so far though. It's very fine, the point on this brush, and it gives you just the right amount of pigment. Let me just grab a spoolie and we'll brush those through just a little bit. But this one from ColourPop here. All right, and now I have this new brow gel. This is just a clear brow gel from Milani. Didn't I just get done saying that I don't often use clear brow gels or like them very much? Well, here we are. Here's another one. Let's see how well this one works. Oh, that's a big, it's like a mascara spoolie. Doesn't feel too wet though, like it's not putting too much down on my brows, which I like. Let's add a little bit of highlighter. I forgot to add highlighter. We're gonna use this one. This is just from Physicians Formula. How many of you guys still have this thing lying around? I've had mine, I think, for 5 years now, and it shows. I mean, this thing is pretty nasty looking, but it's great. And I pulled this out last week after probably over a year and was reminded of why I kept this thing around. So it did end up making it through my declutter. Probably if I would not have pulled it out that time, I probably would have decluttered this, because I just don't use it enough. I feel like I might come back and add a little bit more blush. I'm uncertain about like the blush on my cheeks. I kind of feel like I need a little bit more, or was a little bit too light-handed. But let's go on to the eyes next. We're gonna take this right here. I just picked up the Milani Gilded Mini Palette. I've heard so many people raving about these. I ended up going with this one. This is the Wind Down. It looks so pretty. I really like the setup of light to dark and shimmer to mattes in here. And after just making it through a declutter where I complained a lot about having too many berry tone palettes, well, here we are. Here's another one. But let's give it a try. I'm really excited to see if Milani's formula is back, because I have not been super impressed with some of the other palettes I've tried from them over the last couple of years since they had the gold ones everyone used to rave about. So I'm gonna start in this shade right here. It's just a light, kind of cool tone purple. To be honest, when I use berry tones, I don't often start in a shade quite like this. I usually prefer something a little bit more peachy or that has some more warmth in it. Hopefully my eye's not too purple. It is really nice and light though, which I'm thankful for. Glad that's not too pigmented, or I feel like it would just be a little bit too bold. Let's use the back side of this brush, same shade. We're gonna just build that up pretty heavily in the brush and then run that on the lower lash line, pretty far down. So far so good. Let's add a little bit of this kind of like cherry chocolate color right here. It's like a berry toned brown. That same brush that I used on the lower lash line, I'm just going to start applying that right at the upper lash line. Just tapping and then pulling up and in a little bit. Okay, so that's about 2 layers, and just with what's left on that brush, I'm going to pull lightly down just on this outer corner right here. Kind of work on that shape, and then let's do the other side. All right, now back to the blending brush. I'm just gonna lightly blend around the edges. Then I'm gonna go back to my beauty sponge and just very lightly tap that under the eyes to clean up that shape right there. All right, now let's jump over to the shimmer. So I'm gonna take the tiniest bit of this shade right here, which is kind of a satin shimmer, it looks like. I'm just gonna take a tiny bit of this and put it just right inside where that darkest matte went. And then we'll overlap this with one of the other shimmers. All right, and now we're gonna take this shimmer in the center. It's kind of a lavender purple, looks a little bit more metallic. And this one we're gonna put all the way across the center, just leaving that inner quarter of the lid open. Ooh, this is pretty. Okay, and then to brighten things up, we're gonna take this shade right here, which looks to be just like a nice basic, pretty icy champagne. There it is right there, really nice and bright. It's actually more metallic than I was thinking it would be, looking at it in the pan. But I don't mind, I feel like I could use a little bit of brightness on this inner part of my lid. Very, very pretty. I wanna do one more thing. With that light shade, I wanna take that on a damp brush. We're gonna take this brush right here, this rougher kind of pinpoint brush. I'm gonna dampen that brush and we're gonna run that lightest shade all the way across just past the center of the eyelid to kind of do like a line, just to add something, I don't know, different. A little different than I normally do. This is not something I often do, but I am just loving this shimmer. It is so bright. About 2/3 of the way across. You guys see that? And then I'm also going to take that on that bottom tear duct, just the very innermost part of that bottom rim of my eye, just to brighten it up. That looks amazing. Very, very happy with these shadows. Wow, you guys, kind of feel like Milani is back. This makes me very happy. So I don't want to do a liner today, but I am going to go back to this color right here in the corner that we used in the outer corner. I'm gonna wet this little liner brush right here. This one's also from Persona. Just gonna lightly dampen the brush and then go into that darkest shade. And we're gonna lightly just press that into the lashes here on the outer corner. I don't wanna go in too far because I do not wanna get it on top of the light color that I pulled across the center. Just this outer corner to add a little bit of a wing. Now let's test out some mascara. So I picked up the new Milani Highly Rated Extensions mascara. I am so excited to try this. Jen Phelps said she thought it was a dupe for the Thrive, which you guys know I love the Thrive Cosmetics mascara. I am crossing my fingers that I love this as much as I love the Thrive Cosmetics mascara. So let's give this a try. I'm gonna add a couple of coats. Actually, we'll do it on camera just for the first eye, just so you guys can kind of see my thoughts. Okay, the brush looks exactly the same. Oh, I hope it's just as good. Wow. Okay guys, I totally am already getting Thrive vibes. She was right. All right guys, there is the finished mascara. I am pretty impressed. This is reminding me exactly like the Thrive Cosmetics. It's been a while since I've had that one. It's been gone for about 8-9 months, but I've owned a few tubes of that, and this really is giving me like Thrive Cosmetics vibes. I cannot wait to see how it wears and how it washes off. It's very, very lengthening. I don't know if you guys can see, my lashes are almost hitting my eyebrows. Not all mascaras will do that to my lashes. I don't think it's as volumizing as it is lengthening, but that's kind of how I felt about the Thrive Cosmetics mascara as well. But overall, really good length, great separation, good lift. It's holding a curl pretty well. It overall looks great. So far a win. Let's move on to the lips. So I have one new thing from Milani. I picked up a new lipstick from Milani. I was thinking this is one of those like glossy lipsticks, like the one I just decluttered that was too bright, but maybe in like a lighter shade, but this is an actual lipstick, so I'm not sure that I knew exactly what this was when I bought it, but here is the color. I did swatch this already, and it looks like a good shade for me. I just have not been much of a lipstick wearer more recently. I've just been really into lip liners and then just like a tinted gloss on top, but we're gonna give this one a try today. I do think the shade looks really, really nice, so let me start off by adding a little bit of my Milani lip liner in 04. Just a tiny bit of overline in the center. All right, and this is the shade 410 Pleasure. Looks like a matte formula. Ooh, pretty shade. Okay, that is a beautiful color. I feel like it's a little bit on the peachy side for this eye look, so I'm gonna add a gloss on top just to add a little bit of pink. This is Tiramisu from NYX. Also, I'm just not normally into like matte lips on me. And then one more thing, I want to take the tiniest bit of this shade and also this shade. I'm just going to lightly tap those right in the center, just to lighten that up in the middle. All right, let's take one final look. Let me just unpin my hair. Okay, you guys, and here is the finished makeup look. The eyes look amazing. Very happy with the brows, the eyeshadow, the mascara. My skin feels really great. I'm really excited about the e.l.f. I was not expecting to be. I don't know why I just was not more eager to try this stuff out, but I'm really happy that I did because it feels great so far. I'm gonna keep playing with it, and of course I'll come back and let you guys know my thoughts. Hopefully it won't break me out. Occasionally e.l.f. products can break me out, so I'm crossing my fingers. I'll keep trying the Rose Brightener. I think it's a really nice face oil. I might even take this upstairs and implement it in my skincare routine. After my cheeks, I feel like my cheeks look generally really patchy today. I don't know what's going on. I do have a little bit more discoloration because I spent some time in the sun over the weekend. I like the contour going on. We'll see. I'm going to keep playing with it. Hopefully give my skin a little bit of time. I've got a couple of spots and also just some like sunspots from the weekend. So generally speaking, not my best skin day underneath, but it doesn't look bad. I will keep you guys posted on that as well. Of course, I will come back and update you guys on, especially the mascara. I'm gonna need a little bit of time with this to see how it wears and holds up to watery eyes. But overall, I feel like this was really successful. This got me really excited about Milani again, which I have not been very excited about Milani for a couple of years. So that is exciting. Let me know what you guys thought. I'm sure a lot of you guys have tried out some of these products. I'd love to know how you felt about them, how they work for you. Feel free to let us know down in the comments below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will see you all very soon in my next video. Bye.